Hi, Roadrunners. It's Mrs. Emerick. It's nice to be able to read this book to you guys. I miss you. I hope you're all doing well and listening to Mom and Dad, but having fun too. I've got a book I want to read. It's called Ira Says Goodbye. It's by Bernard Weber. I read one of his books to the Young 5 class, and we just loved it. And this is kind of the follow-up book. So here we go. It's called Ira Says Goodbye. Reggie, my best friend, was moving away. My sister was the first to tell me about it. This is how she told me. She said, Ira, what? I said, do I have a surprise for you? I knew right away I wouldn't hate the surprise. What? I said. What I just heard. I knew right away I shouldn't say what again. What? I said again. Guess, she said. Goodbye, I said. Wait, she said. Somebody is going to be doing something. What? I said. Real soon. What? I said. Something. Moving, she said. Somebody is moving, I said. In 2 weeks. Who? I said. Aren't you going to guess? Who? I said. Sorry, I got a dog that's crying in the background. Come here. Not even one little teeny tiny guess? Goodbye, I said. Wait, she said. Reggie. What? I said. Your best friend. It is moving? Away, she said. Far, far away. Oh, I would hate it to pieces if my best friend were moving away. What will you do when your best friend in the whole wide world moves away? I don't believe it, I said. Believe it, she said. I ran into the house. It's true, said my mother. We were just coming to tell you, said my father. We learned about it only minutes ago, said my mother. But it's not as though you won't ever see Reggie again, said my father. Greendale is only an hour's drive. Greendale? I said. Where Reggie will be living, said my mother. And you can always talk to him on the telephone, said my father. Talking on the telephone won't be the same, I said. I know, said my mother. I know, said my father. Reggie moving. I couldn't believe it. Reggie was my best friend, as far back as I could remember. We had our own tree house and a secret hiding place that only we knew about because it was so secret. And we had a magic act, the amazing Reggie and the fantastic Ira. Everyone came to see us perform. And we had our own club, the Dolphins. So far, there were only 2 members, us, but we thought it was a good start. I went to all of Reggie's birthday parties, and he came to all of mine. We put our baseball cards together so that way it would make a bigger pile. When Reggie was away on vacation, I took care of his dog, Herman. He did the same for Geraldine, my cat. And when Reggie was sick in the hospital, I sent him a get well card. I made it myself. And when I was away visiting my grandparents in Oregon, Reggie sent me a miss you card. We even put our turtles together in the same tank so that they could be best friends too, like us. My turtle was Felix. His was Oscar. I decided to go and find Reggie and tell him about how sorry I felt to hear he was moving away. I found Reggie. We both started talking at the same time. You're moving, I said. We're moving, he said. To Greendale, I said. To Greendale, he said. And then he said, my father has a new job. In Greendale, I said. Reggie sighed. I sighed too. We can still talk on the telephone, he said. But that won't be the same, said Reggie. I know, I said. But the next day, to my surprise, Reggie wasn't the same Reggie anymore. Isn't it terrible? I said. I looked at Reggie. He said, isn't it terrific? Did you just say terrific? Uh-huh, said Reggie. Did you just say uh-huh? I said. Uh-huh, said Reggie. I can't believe it. I said to Reggie, when you just said uh-huh, the way you just said uh-huh, did you mean uh-huh, you're glad you're moving? Uh-huh, said Reggie. Reggie started to explain. Greendale is going to be so great, he said. Great, great, great. My father told me all about it last night. In Greendale, all people do is have fun. Fun, fun, fun. All the time. Listen to this. There's this place in Greendale where they keep this killer shark. Every day, people go to this place to see this killer shark. So they can just get scared. Because the minute this killer shark sees everybody, he starts to snort. Sharks snort? I said. This one snorts, said Reggie. And he makes killer shark faces at everybody because that's what killer sharks love best to do. Make ugly, scary killer shark faces at people. Isn't that great? And you know what else about Greendale? Said Reggie. There's this park with games and thriller rides. And all people do all day in Greendale is play these games and scream their heads off riding these thriller rides and watch fireworks Saturday nights. Isn't that great? And you know what else about Greendale? Said Reggie. There's this lake with swans and ducks and cute little baby swans and ducks too. And the minute these swans and ducks see you coming, they just scoot right up to you just so you can feed them. Isn't that great? And the people in Greendale are so friendly, said Reggie. All they do all day long is go around smiling, 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 smiling. All the time. They just never get tired of smiling. And they give you this big hello, no matter how many times they see you. Even if they see you 200 times a day, they'll stop and say, hello. Isn't that great? People here are friendly, I said. Some are even best friends. But Reggie just went on talking about Greendale, as if he had never heard about best friends. Oh, I almost forgot the most terrific part, said Reggie. The part about my Uncle Steve. He plays football for the Greendale Tigers, you know. And I'll be seeing him every day. And he's going to teach me to kick and pass so that when I grow up, I'll play football for the Greendale Tigers too. Isn't that great? Day after day, Reggie had new stories to tell about Greendale. He never seemed to want to do any of our old things anymore, like going up the treehouse or performing the magic act. He even took back his top hat, cape, and wand, which were kept at the secret hiding place. And while he was at it, he took his baseball cards. It was as if Reggie had already moved away. One day, Reggie came by to take back Oscar, his turtle. It was my turn to keep the tank. But Felix and Oscar are friends, I said. They're used to being together. They're only turtles, said Reggie. Turtles have feelings, I said, and nobody can explain to a turtle why his friend isn't with him anymore. Nothing bothers turtles, said Reggie. Turtles are bothered. They're bothered a whole lot. I said, turtles get lonely and they get sad, especially if a friend's taken away, and they start to mope. Turtles do not mope, said Reggie. Turtles do so mope, I said. Everybody knows that, and they stop eating, and they get sick, even die. Do you want this to happen, Reggie? They don't die, said Reggie, not from losing a friend. They do too die, I said. Everybody knows that about turtles. Everybody who isn't stupid knows that. I'm taking Oscar, said Reggie. Then take Felix too, I said. Reggie looked at me. Do you mean it? He said. Uh-huh, I said. And that's just what happened. Reggie walked out with Oscar and Felix. Maybe I shouldn't have said that part about being stupid. Sometimes Reggie gets to me. Sometimes Reggie really gets to me. Like whenever I call Reggie on the telephone and I say to him, "What are you doing?" He always says, "Talking to you." Like I didn't know he was talking to me. I can't tell you how many times he pulled that one. Do you want to know something else about Reggie? When Reggie eats lunch, he always laughs with his mouth wide open and with all that yucky food showing. I hate that about Reggie. And Reggie doesn't care one bit about friends. He really doesn't. He didn't care one bit how lonely Felix and Oscar would feel without each other. You want to know something? I just hope some new kid moves into Reggie's old house. Some new kid who will be my new best friend. Some new kid who doesn't always brag about his uncle, the football player. You want to know something else? I can't wait for Reggie to move. You want to know something else? I will jump for joy the day Reggie moves away. I didn't have to wait long. One day, a big van pulled up to Reggie's house. I watched as the men carried everything out of the house. When the house was empty, Reggie and his parents came outside. Reggie was carrying his tank with Felix and Oscar in it. My parents and sister were there too. Everyone hugged and said goodbye. Everyone except Reggie and me. "Aren't you two going to say goodbye?" said Reggie's mother. Suddenly, Reggie burst out crying and couldn't stop. He cried, and no amount of patting seemed to help. "Reggie is taking this move so hard," said his father. At last, when Reggie stopped crying, he handed me the tank. He said, "Here, Ira, you keep them." "You're giving Felix and Oscar to me?" I said. "Uh-huh," said Reggie. I was so surprised. I dug into my pocket for my baseball cards and handed Reggie the one I knew he always wanted. "You're giving me your favorite card?" said Reggie. "Uh-huh," I said. This time it was Reggie's turn to be surprised. We all waved goodbye as Reggie and his parents drove away. When their car disappeared, we looked at each other. Everyone was sad. "There's only one thing to do at a time like this," said my mother. "What?" I said. "Let's go into the house and bake a cake." "Excellent," said my father. "What kind of cake?" said my sister. "How about angel food?" said my mother. And that's just what we did. The day Reggie moved, we baked a cake. That night the telephone rang. "It's for you, Ira," said my father. It was Reggie. "What are you doing?" he said. "Talking to you," I said. "Stop fooling," said Reggie. "I'm eating cake," I said. "Listen," said Reggie, "would you like to come visit at my house this weekend? My father and I can come pick you up." "Oh, would I said. "Will your Uncle Steve be there?" "Uh-huh," said Reggie. "Great," I said. "I can't wait." "Just a minute," said Reggie. "My mother wants to ask your mother if it's all right for you to come." My mother got on the telephone. "Say yes," I whispered. "Yes? Hello." "Oh, hello, Ellie." Ellie is Reggie's mother. "How are things?" said my mother. "Say yes," I whispered. My mother said, "Uh-huh." And then she said some more uh-huhs. And then she said, "Yes, yes, yes, yes." She kept saying, "Yes, yes, yes." I kept shaking my head. And then she said, "Oh, won't that be nice?" I knew what she meant by nice. "It will be very nice," I whispered. "You sure it won't be any trouble?" she said. I shook my head. "It won't be trouble." "Saturday," my mother looked at me, hugging myself. "I know he'll be delighted," she said. My mother hung up. "Guess what?" she said. "I'm invited to Reggie's house!" I called out as I ran up the stairs. "Ira, where are you rushing to?" said my father. "Up to pack," I said. "But you're not leaving until Saturday," said my mother. "You have 2 whole days to pack." "I don't want to be late," I said. And there he goes. He's getting ready already. 2 days. I love this book. And I sure love reading to my young 5 friends and the rest of my Roadrunner friends too. I miss you guys. We're all going to be together again real soon. I love you. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. I'll see you soon.